Greetings, friends. This is Oleh Ivchenko, head of the Pareto company. You are watching a new episode of Pareto Point, a program about events in the world of valuation, business, and finance. The beginning of the year is a time for change, new expectations, and new directions. We won't break with tradition either. In today's episode, in Ukraine, the valuation of collateral for loans is about to become more expensive. Global funds are preparing for a new wave of deals in the mergers and acquisitions market, and how the euro has changed the basis for asset valuation in Europe. Let's get started. Starting from early 2026, professional property valuation in Ukraine may become significantly more expensive. The reason is the risk of a decrease in the number of appraisers. According to the State Register of Appraisers, only 2,000 specialists out of more than 13,000 who were working before the start of the full-scale war have renewed their qualification documents. All valid certificates were only effective until January 1st, 2026, while the State Property Fund of Ukraine required that the old-style documents be replaced by the end of 2025. That is, in 2026, only about 16% of appraisers compared to the pre-war number may remain on the market. The shortage of specialists is already affecting the market. The cost of appraising state property, businesses, corporate rights, equipment, and intellectual property has already increased on average by 30 to 50%. State enterprises and budgetary institutions are also facing a shortage of appraisers willing to work on a post-payment basis. At the same time, the State Property Fund of Ukraine has tightened the requirements for appraisal reports and increased oversight of appraisers' activities. This is changing the working conditions for all market participants and is aimed at improving the quality of services. In 2026, activity in the mergers and acquisitions market among mid-sized companies may increase. This is according to a survey by Citizens Financial Corp Bank, which included about 400 companies and private equity funds. 58% of respondents expect an increase in the number of deals in 2026. In 2025, most of the activity came from large corporations, while the mid-market segment was less active. Private equity funds have become more willing to make deals. At the end of the year, 86% of executives felt confident in making M&A decisions, compared to 48% at the beginning of the year. The main factors cited are economic growth, lower interest rates, and attractive asset valuations. The greatest interest is expected in technology, financial services, and companies related to artificial intelligence. On January 1st, 2002, euro banknotes and coins were introduced into circulation in Europe, effectively completing the transition to a common currency. Before that, since January 1st, 1999, the euro had been used exclusively for cashless transactions, and the exchange rates of the national currencies of the Eurozone countries were fixed for the transition to the common currency. It was at that time that government debt and financial obligations began to be accounted for in euros. For the valuation sector, this became a fundamental change. The introduction of a single currency eliminated currency fluctuations between Eurozone countries and created a common monetary base for calculating the value of assets, businesses, and financial instruments. For the first time, valuation results in different countries became directly comparable without additional currency adjustments. This is what laid the foundation for the single financial space in which the modern European market operates. Friends, thank you for being with us. If you found the information useful, please support this episode with a like and share it with your colleagues. Share your impressions and suggestions in the comments. See you in the next episode of Pareto Point.